the key thing is there's an animal part of our nature, which is we completely take appearances for reality. That's sort of the source of our problems and our misery, to be honest with it, in life. So the front that people present, the way they look, the way they talk to us, their words, we sort of take at face value. And although we might think, or we might know from reading a book or whatever, that you can't always trust appearances, is kind of a cliche. We can't control ourselves. So it makes us extremely vulnerable to charming people, to charlatans, to con artists, to politicians who say one thing, who do another, to relationships, terrible relationships where we fall in love with exactly the wrong person, to the worst kind of hires. You know, I do a lot of consulting work. I've been doing it for over 20 years now. The number one problem I deal with is I hired the worst person in the world, and they're making my life hell, right? And why did you hire the wrong person? Because you judged them on their charming smiles, their appearance, their smooth talk, their resume, which you can conceal a lot with your resume. You didn't look behind the facade and look at what's underneath the character. So this is kind of ingrained in our nature. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. It's extremely difficult to overcome, right? And I have the problem too. I deal with it all the time. And I have to go through a process where I step back and I say, I don't want to be paranoid, but this person is so nice and pleasant. Is there something else going on behind the curtain that's there? You know, and then sometimes I tell myself, no, I have ways of judging that there's a consistency between the face and the reality. But oftentimes there is not, and I've become very good at that kind of bullshit detection, which I've been doing my whole life.
How do you get good at that?
Well, you know, some things are hard to put into words, which is why I struggle so much with my books. Because a lot of human communication, I estimated 95%, it's just a number, is nonverbal, right? So we don't pay much attention to that because we're so word-oriented, right? We're so embedded in language that we think everything in terms of what people say. But unconsciously, without even realizing it, we're continually judging people on their nonverbal behavior, right? So their eyes, their smile are different from what they actually say, but we're not really. So in a kind of a natural, intuitive way, we understand that, but we don't trust those kind of judgments, right? So we rely more on what they say than on the signals that we pick up from their body language. So years and years of training and being sensitive to it, it's probably something that has to go back to my childhood. If you put me on a couch and psychoanalyze me right here, there was probably something in my childhood where I had to learn how to really read people, not by what they said, but everything about them. And I have a kind of a feel, an intuitive feel for the energy, the vibrations, the mood that people give off, not through what they say, but through their body, through particularly their tone of voice and all the other signals. That is the main way of judging, you know, what's really going on. The other thing you look at are people's patterns of behavior, right? Things that have happened in the past. As I said in Laws of Human Nature, nobody ever does something just once, right? If somebody fucks up and does something kind of hurts you in some way, and they say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. That's not me. Don't trust that. It'll happen again. For sure, it will happen again a second, a third, fourth time.